There's about a million different ways you can market your home service business, both free and paid, and sometimes it can be a little stressful picking what avenue is best for you, especially at your moment of scale in your home service business. And if you want to get more leads within your company and you want to make more money overall, this video is going to be for you. We're going to talk about the multiple different ways you can market, from Facebook and Instagram ads to Google PPC to signage strategies, and even some free methods as well. Hey everybody, my name is Jordan Danzy. I'm a marketing and home service fanatic, and I'm currently trying to build the #1 marketing and home service community called the 3-Pillar Framework. If you want to join, get a lot of SOPs, guides, templates, scripts, and how to learn Facebook and Instagram ads for home service businesses, you can check out my school community. It's the first link down below. This is what we're going to cover in today's video. We're going to talk about the best marketing methods, both free and paid. We're also going to be talking about which method you should be using depending on your budget. And then one little kind of hot take I have when you're picking a scaling method or a marketing method and just doubling down on that. Let's jump into it. So ultimately, there's a bunch of free methods that you can do, and there's a bunch of paid methods. If you are just starting out and you have no money to your name, the free methods are going to help you get those first couple of customers in the door, that first little bit of money for you. This is what I personally did when I started my detailing business forever ago, No Limit Detailing. I went door knocking because it was the easiest and the most free way to get my first client. I got somebody for $100 to detail both their cars. That was the worst decision I've ever made. But overall, there is tons and tons of ways. I will say, paid methods typically will give more predictable results because they're paid. You're putting $1 in, and if with like Facebook and Instagram ads, it's kind of a rigged slot machine. Once you get it right, you put $1 in, you might get 7 back. Free, on the other hand, can be a little bit less predictable because they're free methods. If it's free, everybody can do it. And paid methods sometimes have a little bit of mastery behind it. So if you're currently stuck at, or you're currently over the 10K mark, the most powerful methods are going to be paid, because at this point in your business, you need to actively get a lot of clients in the door, and this is what's really going to help you. But we're going to first talk about the free methods. So when talking about free methods, there's one thing that you really need to focus on first. Free methods are free, and to often get results out of these, they're going to require repetition and volume. This is huge because everybody can do a free method. It's free. So the more you do it and the more times you get out there to try and give yourself an at-bat at getting a close or getting a sale, the free methods are going to acquire a lot more. But there's one really good quote that I've always loved. If you have no money, you should have no shame. Knock, call, email, do whatever the hell you can. It's by Alex Hormozi. And if you're just starting out, these free methods are going to be amazing for you. And I would say arguably the most important free method that you could do right now is a Google My Business profile setup. Having a Google My Business is huge. It's almost the most important tool. It's the most free important tool for any type of home service business. And the biggest thing is when you get a Google My Business and you start to actually put a lot of work into it, you can over time start to compound its growth and actually have like a good flow of leads coming in from there for free. It's super good. And I would, if you're starting a home service business, or if you're a guy who's already kind of into it and you haven't looked at the Google My Business page to optimize that correctly, you are missing out. It is so huge. So the more you put into Google, the more it's going to put out to you, and eventually it's going to compound over time as you start to get a couple customers, a couple reviews, maybe a couple pictures, and you're going to see some really good results. The second best free marketing method out there has to be door knocking. Now, the doors can be brutal. If you're a door-to-door sales guy, you're going to have a little bit of extra benefit towards this, kind of a little head start, if you want to say. But if you have no money whatsoever, you could do everything else, but you got to start on the doors. You have to go knock. Learn to get told no 100 times. So when you finally get your one yes, it's 10 times more rewarding and you'll do an amazing job. The doors are brutal, but when you are knocking doors, you have to understand that is the volume game more than anything. The more doors you knock, the better your chances are. And I can promise you, before I got my first detailing client for $100 with my previous detailing company, I knocked maybe like 60 doors and got told no, over and over again, until one guy said yes. And I was so desperate, I said $100 and I'll do your cars. Both cars, inside and out. was like $50. It turned out I was getting like at the end of the day, maybe $4 an hour. It was stupid, but it was a really good learning experience. So doors are the second best way to get out there and basically just try to knock your way to your first couple of clients. The third free marketing method is going to have to be the Facebook groups and communities. Posting in your local town groups, the classified, the 411s, or whatever they're called. I think they have a different name everywhere you go. Is a great way to, one, create an offer and tell people about it. It's really hard to tell people about your offer indoors because you're just knocking trying to get a sale. But when you have a Facebook group community, you can create an offer. You can create a really good one that maybe will pull in a couple more people. Make these posts more personal. I can't say this enough because everyone that you are going towards, in these groups, it is just spam, right? And it's people posting the same thing over and over and over again. It's chat GPT'd, and typically like a good community will spot this and remove you from it. So make sure if you are in a good community Facebook group to post in it, make it personalized, maybe even filming a quick little video of yourself talking about your company, then posting that in there as well is going to be 10 times better for you. Also, make sure to read the rules. The fourth one, of course, has to be friends and family. And this is probably where 90% of your first customers are actually going to come from, or your test subjects. Now, I say that likely, but my friends and family was the first one that I got to actually, get a little bit of some money up and going. My mom's friends, their friends, they were like, oh, let's support him. It's his new business. And this is really what, got me I would say my first like $400 to $500. The biggest thing with friends and family is when you are going to start your home service business, just preach to the moon about it. Seriously, let everybody in your contacts list know. Do not be shy about starting a business. This is how I was, and for some reason I was like, oh, I don't want to let people know I'm just starting out, blah, blah, blah. No, you need to go balls to the wall and let everybody in your contacts know about your service and what you're doing. Just go crazy, and I promise you're going to get some really good results from that as well. And then the fifth one, I just kind of put this on here because it can be helpful. It's the free listing on Yelp. I don't think it's really that good. We have a couple of community members who have gotten a result from Yelp. But I would like to state this here. Do not pay for their ad service or their premium service. Sometimes they will give you a free credit, but be super cautionary. I have lost over $800 towards Yelp ads that I didn't even know were running. I didn't know I signed up for them, but they kind of sneakily put you in a contract and you have no idea about it. There's a really big reason that Yelp goes after new businesses because all of the established ones know not to pay for Yelp. So Yelp is a great thing just to claim your free listing. You can do this on other services. Please just make sure it's your free listing and nothing else. And now we're going to be moving on to the paid methods. With every paid method, there are results. It really just depends on how much volume you're actually putting into it. Whatever avenue you choose, just choose to master it, right? Just choose to master it. And this is a really big thing for me. One of the biggest advantages you can have as a home service business against your competitors is being a master at one thing that they don't know how to do, right? So if you're let's say you're a concrete company, right? Everybody can go to Angie's List. They can go to Thumbtack, create an account, and pay them to get leads coming in the door. You are not different, right? That is no competitive advantage over all of your competitors. What a real competitive advantage is when you know how to properly use Facebook and Instagram ads to generate yourself leads for cheaper or better quality leads, right? And when you can do that, that's something that you can actually use over your competitor. That's something that you have a competitive advantage on. And just Thumbtack and throwing money at Thumbtack, yeah, you're gonna have leads coming in the door and you'll probably close some deals. If you could master Facebook and Instagram ads, you would have a 4 to 5 times better return. But the biggest thing is most people aren't willing to actually master it. They want to just put money in and expect it to come back out on the other side. And these lead generation sites know this, and that's why they are an arbitrage of your leads. They are getting the lead for cheaper and they are selling it to you, and then they're selling it to all of your competitors as well. So Thumbtack and Angie's List is not going to be on here because there is no competitive advantage to it. Don't use them. I'm so against them. It's insane. In terms of the number one or paid marketing method is going to have to be Facebook and Instagram ads. Meta ads are the best way possible, hands down, to get in front of somebody with an amazing offer and explicitly asked for their interest in your service. Right? That is the only platform that you can actively do this on. And mastering this can be super challenging at first. Trust me, like when you're at a lower budget of like $25 a day, it can be really, really hard to master this. But once you do, the scaling opportunities are endless depending on your market. There kind of is a market cap where it doesn't make sense anymore, but you really need to dive into this because this is where you can untap and get a way better advantage over the competition. And you can start as low as $25 a day and slowly build your campaigns up to $100 a day, even $200 a day, with 2 to 4 leads coming in per day. And when you set up speed to lead systems, that's 2 to 4 leads calling your phone per day. That's absolutely insane. And Facebook and Instagram ads are the only avenue that you can really get this going in terms of paid. The second one is going to have to be the Google LSA, or more commonly known as Google Guaranteed. This is what's coming up at the top now that's kind of said like sponsored or verified businesses. This is a great way to get direct leads for your business. You have to upload a bunch of information, your insurance, your contractor's license, and basically they want to make sure that you're a legit person. You have to get a background check. And overall, this can be really great for your business, but it's very niche dependent, right? If you are a concrete, HVAC, I'm trying to think of maybe garage floor coatings, anything that's like a typical higher ticket service, landscaping. Google LSA is going to be great for you because the lead is going to be anywhere from $100 to $150. And sometimes you can even get your money back on bad leads, very rarely. But that's because the ticket size is higher. Now, if you were like a window cleaning, a junk removal type of company, or you're typically like a detailer, lower ticket type of service, sometimes LSA is not going to make sense, right? And the easiest way to kind of talk about this is like if you're a junk removal guy and you're going to go pick up some junk from somebody's house and you get a Google LSA lead, and let's say it's $80 for the lead and the dump was maybe $100. Well, you profited 20 and then you got to go pay the fees. Like there's no money there, right? So LSA is very niche dependent, but it is a very good way to get some leads coming in your business. And if you're a higher ticket service, it is some pretty good leads. So I would definitely look at Google LSA. The third, and arguably I'd start to say is kind of creeping up there close to second, is going to have to be the local signage strategies. Now, depending on your town laws, I have to put this out there. I've gotten a call about this now. You need to be a little bit strategic with these, right? And it's a volume game with signage. So you need to be a little bit more strategic. You need to put these in places that really make sense, but it's not just yard signs that we're going to be focusing on. You need to be doing yard signs, door hangers, A-frames, and potentially even some bigger signs if you have the money or the budget for it. Local signage does work, but it works in volume. You can't just go buy 50 signs, go put them out there and expect a bunch of results. Signage only works in volume. You need to buy 100 or 200 signs and drip those across your jobs and do 25 here, 25 here, 25 here, 25 here, and keep replacing them because signs do get pulled. That's just common sense. But the more you do it, the better it's going to become. And signs are huge. The biggest thing that I've seen here is a lot of people will use local signage. They'll get a couple of jobs. It's profitable, and they just keep it consistently. This is one thing I'm going to have to talk about. You need to double down. You have to be doubling down, and it is super, super huge for that. And then the fourth one is going to be Google PPC. And this is called pay-per-click. Now, this is one where it is great to get high-intent traffic, but it is confusing. It is very techy, it's very complicated, and it's very nitpicky. This is one of the companies that I would recommend typically going for an agency. The biggest reason before this is because it's so complicated right now. And it does require a lot of work in the ad account to get really good results. Now, you can do it yourself and get okay results and get some okay cost per leads. But when you hire an agency, they're typically going to be able to go in there, get you a better cost per result. And this is where it really starts to make sense if it's for your niche. Now, with this, you do kind of want to allocate a little bit of a budget for Google PPC because you want $2,500, I would say, to $3,000 per month just for the ads side of things. And then you're also going to have an agency cost on top of that. And for a good one, it can be anywhere from $25,000 to $4,000, really depending on what it is. So out the door, you typically want to budget around, I would say, conservatively 6 to 7 grand per month going into Google PPC ads if that's the route you want to go. And then finally, the fifth method is going to have to be websites. And websites are great. Often when you're starting out, just having a nice, simple, clean website for when they go to your Google page and they click on it is pretty cool. You just want to make sure you have a lead capture form in there. But I would say having a website is crucial. It doesn't need to be overly complicated. It doesn't need to be crazy, but it's just a form of social proof at the end of the day. Now, if you are a little bit of a higher tier business and let's say you're about 30 to 40K per month, having a business that is SEO, SEO is great. It's search engine optimization. It's going to take time to build. That's the hardest thing. That's the hardest thing to really teach people is SEO isn't built in 3 months. It can be somewhat built in 6, but it realistically is going to take a year to 2 years for SEO to really build up and really get the results that you're looking for. And it often is going to require professional help. You're going to have to hire an SEO agency to come in there, do the blog post for you, really optimize it. And it's going to take a lot more time than you're expecting. But at the end of the day, it is a really good campaign for those businesses that are around like 30 to 40 or higher to invest in a better website with better SEO to start building it up. That's the hardest part is you have to start and then you have to build it. And it takes time. So when you are ready for that investment, that's why it's tier 5. I would say this is really, really good for you. The biggest thing, right? The biggest thing is there are more marketing methods that are paid. They start to become effective at higher levels, right? So truck wraps, mailers, billboards, it really starts to become niche specific on that. Like right now, I'm seeing that the HVAC industry is really good with mailers. But the thing is they're not like these big companies aren't spending a little amount of money on mailers. They're not sending one mail a week. They're sending like one to every household per week, which is going to be a lot of money, upwards of like $50,000 to maybe even $100,000 that some of these big companies are spending on mailers, right? And you can really start to see like there's levels to the game of marketing your home service business. So I would say if you are anywhere between the range of 10K all the way up to about 3 million a year, this is the top 5 marketing methods for your business. And those are the top 5 free and paid methods to market your home service business. If you are starting out and you have little to no money, have no shame and use every free resource you can right now to market your home service business. You're going to get a couple of your first clients and you can reinvest that money either back into the business or into a paid avenue. I would highly recommend though saving up, reinvest back into the business, and then start looking into the paid avenues. The cheapest way to start for paid is signage, and it is a really good strategy at the end of the day. Now, on to the big cautionary note, and I really want to talk about this because I think it's really, really good. If you pick a channel, right, and you start going and you start getting some okay results from it and some good results, let's say you do Facebook ads, right, and you're getting, you're spending $20 a day and you're getting a good return, that's not when you diversify. That's not when you go start SEO or you go start Google PPC, right? And you're like, oh, I need all these different channels. No, you need to scale the one channel you're doing to the maximum you can hold with that channel and then diversify. Now, this is where I really struggled with my detailing companies. I diversified off the beginning. I was doing Google PPC, I was doing Facebook and Instagram ads. And it was really when I paid a coach and I was like, teach me this, teach me this one channel, that I really started to get the results, because you have to master one channel before you go on to the next. And that channel for me was Instagram, right? That's what my detailing company used. Since then, I've mastered, Facebook and Instagram ads, and that's kind of where you want to be going. So pick one channel, master it. Don't diversify until you've mastered that one channel. And that's a really big thing. And so if you pick signage, right? Use signage till you're like, okay, I don't think I can buy any more signs and get a better result. Or I can't put out any more signs. Like I'm putting out 50 a week and I'm getting a good result, but I just, it's not going any bigger. Then you can diversify. Then you can look at other things. Like then you can try Google LSA. Don't just say, oh, this is working, it's okay, let's diversify to get more. Use one channel to the maximum that you can and then diversify, and that's going to be really good for you. So it doesn't mean like don't do Google LSA, like do it, just have it going in the background and really put your efforts into one channel that you pick. So if I had to give 3, the best free methods are going to have to be Google My Business, door knocking, and Facebook communities in my eyes. In terms of the best paid methods, it's going to have to be Facebook and Instagram ads, Google LSA, and local signage strategies. Those are my top 3 best marketing and paid recommendations. And if you do want more help and you want to see like how you can get started in any of these paid methods or the free methods, come join our school community. It's called the 3-Pillar Framework. It is the #1 home service and marketing community that I have worked like huge for. It's basically what I've done for 40 plus different home service businesses in multiple different niches, what I use to scale them up, and did some pretty crazy results in the process. The beauty of this is you can try it today absolutely for free for 7 days. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really love making these videos. By the way, if you didn't notice, it is finally flannel weather. You're probably going to see me in a flannel every single day now. But thank you guys again so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and if you do join the community, I will see you on the inside.